Pauly's World of Sports Sims proudly presents for your edification Retro Championship Wrestling universe using the wrestling's finest video game. Tommy Vogel will have a heart attack with me watching the title here. And a pleasant Sunday early evening as I record this. Big Pauly coming to you. Let's go over the rules of Retro Championship Wrestling. These are going to be matches from the South region. We have already done half of the card. We're going to show you the title matches, Week 9, Year number 1. RCW started out as 4 loosely defined regions, 4 regions. East was Europe, South was Mexico, West was Japan, and the North was North America. Obviously, that would be the biggest of the 4 groups. And then we added indies, we mean me. And now the talent just goes wherever they can get the best possible matches. We have 4 major championships, the World Heavyweight Championship, the Junior Heavyweight title, where you have to be wrestling at a weight of 225 pounds, or you had to have been a former Junior Heavyweight title back in the 1980s or earlier, before that kind of was discontinued in North America, but of course that has continued from the 1990s onward. We have a World Tag Team Championship, and we have a World Brass Knuckles title. Think of it as the Hardcore Championship matches are no disqualification, no time limit, kind of like, the baddest of the baddest. Right now, we are in week number 9. We'll go through the singles ratings as play began in the Southern region. Nick Bockwinkel is the world champion, and he just pulled a stunning upset in the North region over Andre the Giant. El Santo is actually the number 1 contender, and you'll be seeing him in our second bout. Antonio Inoki, the junior heavyweight champion, just having defeated Lou Fez last week. Roland Bach from Germany is the Eastern champion. Dusty Rhodes has been doing well, but he hasn't gotten any cracks at championships. Andre the Giant, having just lost the world title, has fallen from number 1 to number 6. And we'll go through how I do ratings. It's kind of an unscientific scientific thing, because in the world of wrestling, rankings don't really matter. Jack Briscoe, Billy Riley from Europe, who has just lost to Antonio Inoki in a scientific bout. He has fallen a little bit. Lou Thez, the former World Junior Heavyweight Champion, is in at number 9. Vern Gagne, also a former Junior Heavyweight Champ, is currently number 10 right now. And the tag team rankings, we will go through those. Rock and Roll Express and the Road Warriors are going to be seeing in our main event. They are the number 1, number 2 teams. Jack and Jerry Briscoe, number 3. The Kangaroo duo of Al Costello and Don Kent are at number 4. They just had a title shot against the Briscoes, and that went to, I believe, a double DQ. The Deucic Riot Squad is number 5. The Midnight Express, the duo of Bobby Eaton and Dennis Condrey, is in at number 6. The Minnesota Wrecking Crew, the former World Tag Team Champions, number 7. The Hart Foundation, they are the Indie Tag Team Champions. They are number 8. Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat, who you are about to see in our opening television bout, is at number 9. And Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen, who wreaked havoc in Japan for many a year, are checking in at number 10. Now, we also right now have champions that are not in the top 10. Magnan Thier was in the top 5 for many weeks. He just lost a match by DQ to Billy Joyce, another European star that has ventured over to the North region. Bruiser Brody, who has knocked off The Undertaker recently to become the Western champion, he is in at number 18. Jack Dempsey, who is a British wrestler, no, not the American Heavyweight Boxing Championship holder at one time, around I'd say post-World War II into the right before the Great Depression. He's checking in at number 42. Medico Assassino, who was a great luchador star, has won 2 Battle Royals. He's won 1 more Battle Royal than Andre the Giant has. He won a Battle Royal to be the first Southern champion. El Santo beat him, and now Medico Assassino is the Indy champion, having won their inaugural Battle Royal. Tag team wise, the champions that are bubbling under the top 10 are Anderson, Tully Blanchard. You'll be seeing them in a moment. They are in at number 12. Greg Valentine, Ric Flair are the Eastern Tag Champions. They are in at number 21. And Bam Bam Bigelow and Big Van Vader are number 74 because they have had a lot of disqualification losses. They lost a very close bout to the Rock and Roll Express a few weeks back. They are checking in right now at number 74. So I am going to come on camera here for a moment once I figure out which channel to press. There we go, folks, and I'm going to get out a Pro Presenter while I talk to you. Do I want a quick Pro Presenter? Yes, I do. And we will get to our first bout. This is a 1 fall, 60-minute time limit bout. And the regions use the same rules for the most part, with the exception that in Southern bouts, because it kind of mimics Lucha Libre, we use the Lucha Libre rules to an extent. As you see me again, just want to make sure I'm on the right screen, and I am. And in the West, we use the Japanese rules. If there are 2 junior heavyweights, we use the junior heavyweight rules, but if one of the 2 combatants is a heavyweight, we use the Japanese heavyweight rules. So let's set up this bout. Hopefully I will set it up correctly. And we will introduce the combatants here as I go through them. The original Southern Tag Champs were Eddie Graham and Bob Orton Jr., but in the early days of RCW, you could lose the title on excessive cuts, but we changed that rule out and made the bouts, the title bouts at least, so that titles cannot change hands and the match cannot be stopped on bleeding. In RCW, you have to win a championship to earn the right to have a manager, and since Anderson and Blanchard did that, J.J. Dillon is their manager, as was the case when they were on Turner back in the 80s. I have a feeling I'm forgetting to do something, and I can't think of it right now, so we will just go ahead. Yeah, this is for the Southern Tag Team Championships, and we'll go through how I do rankings after the first bout has concluded. So, the challengers, Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat, they were the NWA World Tag Team Championship holders in the early 80s. They did not have, up until that point, true World Tag Team Champion title holders. Many regions had different versions of the World Tag Team titles, but there was no unified World Tag Team Champion until the early 80s, like the NWA Championship was unified. Oh, now I remember what I was going to do. I was going to go through the matches, but let's just set up the champions here. 4 horsemen, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard with J.J. Dillon at ringside. They come in with a record of 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, and this is the debut bout for Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat. But before we start, George Kidd and Wahoo McDaniel went to a double DQ at 4:31. Wahoo came in very, very aggressive in the Southern region. Fans really didn't like that. And George Kidd was, of course, now in Europe, they have weight classes, and Kidd was like a featherweight, about 145, 150 pounds. So Wahoo had the size advantage, but Kidd cut him open early, and the match spiraled into a double DQ. In our second event, the Von Brauners, making their debut, faced Mr. Wrestling's 1 and 2, who were bidding for the Southern Tag Team Championships themselves a few weeks ago. They went to a 30-minute draw. An old rivalry from the WWF. In fact, a couple were renewed on the Southern card. Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler went to a 30-minute draw, and Lawler took the battle to Hart. Hart had an off night. Hart, of course, half of the indie tag team title holders with Jim Neidhart. Steve Austin and The Undertaker, they went to a DQ. Austin won. 7 minutes, 17 seconds. The Undertaker refused to break a hold, and in the Southern style of Lucha Libre, that is a no-no. Or at least for the purposes of this, it was a no-no. So just to give you a ratings explanation, if Austin had won the bout by pin, he would have moved from 19 to 10. You cut the rating in half, and you add that 10 to The Undertaker, who would have gone to 47. But instead, it went to DQ, so I divide by 4. Don't use the remainder. So Austin moved to a kind of an impermanent ranking of 15, and Undertaker went from 37 to 41. And after every week is completed, I give everybody numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way down. And when there are ties, I go with the wrestler with the highest either singles or tag team rating. And if should there be a tie, I have a random tiebreaker number. I assigned everybody a random tiebreaker number, and that is how ties are ultimately broken. Everybody has a different number. So here we go with this bout. Should be a good one. Anderson and Blanchard have lost a few bouts by DQ. And the computer seems to think that they will be able to hang on to the championship here. We'll see what happens here. First pin attempt by Jay and Ricky, and it's quickly aborted. And they use their tag team expertise. They wear down Arn and Tully a little bit. Double teaming dropkick maneuver. We'll say it was on Tully. Tully, in some of my federations, has been a good junior heavyweight champion, the son of Joe Blanchard, who was a longtime Texas great. Saw some YouTube video of him getting beat up by Fritz von Erich back in the 60s. So in the early going, it's all Jay and Ricky. Submission attempt will not produce a submission, so we cancel it and have the champions keep control. Double axe handle by Steamboat on to Tully, but that pin attempt does not score. Body slam onto Arn does not. He gets the count to 1, I think. And flying drop kick, and again, the challengers using those flying drop kicks to their advantage. Illegal punches by the Horseman, but that does not result into a pin. We go 60 minutes. Our next bout, by the way, will have no time limit between El Santo and Bert Azarati, who has been a wrestling's finest favorite of mine. The Islington Hercules. Double team maneuvers here by Youngblood and Steamboat, and they have the champions on the run. They have about a 60-point advantage as this bout heads into the 10-minute mark. Illegal punches. So again, JJ providing a bit of a distraction. Arn landing some good soup bone right hands on to Youngblood here. And a nice little flying mare by Tully. So they are catching up, and now they have the lead. Spinebuster by Arn, and it does not result in a pin. I think we had a 2 count there. And now the champions doing some successful double teaming, and they have opened up a sizable lead. Youngblood and Steamboat could not get a finisher in, and we're now approaching the 15-minute mark. Speed and quickness of Youngblood and Steamboat. They try to turn the tide. They cannot get a pin. Pin attempts right now. 4 for the challengers, 3 for the champs. And we have a cut. It is a gash. We'll say it was on Arn Anderson, the bridge of the nose. And that might change the tide of the battle. And some dirty tactics here by the horsemen as they're going after Jay Youngblood's hair. Maybe, and they hide that headdress that he wears, looking to desecrate it. Pin attempt by the champs, no dice. Submission's not going to get it done. And now we have some more blood. And let me just wave off the cut limit rule, because I forgot to do that. So I forgot to do a couple of things here. Pin attempt on to the 4 horsemen, no good. And we have a pin. We have a pin. Flying punch. We'll say it was by Tully. And Jay Youngblood was the victim of that. So the debut of Youngblood and Steamboat not successful. Arn and Tully are going to retain the championship by pinfall at 21 minutes and 9 seconds. And Tully Blanchard landing. I go by damage, odd, and I odd even who the members of the team. So I'll say Tully landed. Flying punch. Knocking out Jay Youngblood. It was pretty good bout, 4.5 stars. The game is giving it. But the challengers are going to come up short. So Anderson and Blanchard are going to move from 11 to 6. And Youngblood and Steamboat are still probably going to be on one of the cards next week. They moved down from 8 to 13. And that's it. We move on to our Southern title bout between El Santo and Bert Azzarati. And last week I had a bout between these two, and it went to a 60-minute draw, hence the reason why I am doing a rematch with no time limit. We used the babyface El Santo, and Bert Azzarati was a heel. And with Nick Bockwinkel becoming world champion, El Santo, barring a loss, will probably get the first title shot, and we will see that in the weeks ahead against Nick Bockwinkel, who is managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan, because Bockwinkel won the World Tag Team Championship. They were the initial champs, Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens. So we are going to this no time limit. See, I set the time limit, and I shouldn't have. Battle between Santo and Azzarati. Santo is undefeated. He held a win over Andre the Giant by DQ in the inaugural weeks of RCW, but it was on a title-changing DQ. And he's 5 wins, no losses, 2 draws, so he's at a 7-match win streak. And meanwhile, Azzarati has held Milton Mascaris and El Santo to time limit draws, but he lost to Roland Bach, who is currently the Eastern Championship, a 2-time Eastern champion, having won I think he won the Battle Royal to start off as champ, and then he lost to Horst Hoffman, and now he has regained the World Championship, not the World Championship, but the Eastern Championship. So this will have no time limit. We will be going at it until we have a winner here of some sort. And there's no cut rule. And we will begin. First pin attempt to Bert Azzarati, no good. Santo has still not lost the match, either by pin or technically. Camel clutch, that's not going to score too early here on Mr. Azzarati. Again, he's trying for the camel, but he would probably be safer off just keeping control. Flying punch. I guess in some parts you could call that a Hawaiian punch, but it does not score the pinfall. Maserati, a very, very proud British grappler who was thought about as a challenger for Lou Thesz, but Maserati, being from England, and the English wrestlers know how to shoot, in other words, wrestle for real, that bout never wound up happening. So we're 9 minutes 43 seconds in. It's about even at this point. Maserati with 2 pin attempts so far to Santos 1, and flying forearm does not get the pin done. Side roll by Maserati does not score because my air conditioner comes on. We had quite a thunderstorm hit us about an hour ago, an hour and a half ago, and it's March 8th as I record this, so this shouldn't be happening now. In the summertime, of course, it's a different story in the Sunshine State. Another pin attempt by Santo is no good. Camel clutch, he still can't get it on Maserati long. And El Santo with a plancha, but Maserati beats the 20 count in. We do not use the Lucha Libre style in our World Championship main event. Armbreaker by Santo onto Maserati, but those British wrestlers, boy, they are tough. Boston Crab, that's not going to get a submission this round. And El Santo, as we approach 20 minutes, has now opened up a sizable lead onto Maserati. About 130 points. And he's racking up pin attempt after pin attempt here, a flurry of them. He's up 5-3 at the moment. Abdominal stretch by El Santo, but El Santo has that broken off. Maserati sensing it's not the time to try any submission holds yet. Headbutt to the body, and that is Maserati's pet hold, but it gets countered by El Santo. We are now approaching 25 minutes into the bout. A drop kick outside the ring by Bert Maserati. Oh, talk about dangerous. And Maserati trying to turn the tide here, using his strength to his advantage. Nice drop kick there by El Santo. Neither man cut. And El Santo has opened up a bit of an advantage. And you can see Maserati, the Iceland Hercules, is getting tired. Headbutt by Maserati, but that does not get the job done. Remember, El Santo just needs some sort of a technical draw, because there could not be a time limit draw on this bout, or a win, and he will get the title shot in the East region against Nick Bockwinkel. El Santo getting confidence from the crowd. They sense the kill here of Bert Maserati. And a near pin attempt there by Maserati as a legal elbow. And El Santo just kicks out at 2.9. Body slam onto El Santo. Now you have Maserati evening up the score on pin attempts at 6-6. Oh, look at that. Maserati with a running tope. Not really known for his lucha libre ability, but he gave El Santo a stomp, and both wrestlers beat the 20 count. Snap suplex by Maserati, and I think Maserati is getting a second win here. Now he has the pin attempt lead, 7-6. And as Maserati gets drop kicked by El Santo off the top rope, Maserati falls to hit the floor. And a plancha by El Santo. And now Maserati looks dead tired. He's looking like he's ready to go. Flying headbutt. And Bert Maserati showing how tough he is. He kicks out of it. Pin attempts are now 7-7. belly-to-belly play by Bert Azarati. Azarati continuing to punch El Santo, but he beats the 5 count, not illegal. Azarati in a pinning predicament here. Thank you, Jim Ross. Clothesline to Azarati, but that does not put him down for the 3 count. Nip and tuck battle as we are now approaching 45 minutes. Azarati getting tired, but El Santo is now not too far behind. And Azarati is tossed outside the ring. El Santo hits him with the tope. Azarati is not going to make it back in. El Santo has won by count out at 43-13. So El Santo, your winner, he will get the title shot against Nick Bockwinkel next week on a future RCW card right here on the Big Pauly's World of Sports Sims channel. We will be rotating through our 3 series. We're going to be doing our Time Travel League of Baseball next up. And then we will go through college basketball 75-76. And then we will get back to RCW probably, I'd say by midweek. All goes according to plan. So El Santo, your winner by count out. He's at 2. You can't divide 2 into 4. Well, you can, but I mean, it doesn't really do anything in terms of my pyramid ordinal system that I use. Azarati is going to drop 2 spots because he has to drop a minimum of 2 here because he can't just lose a fraction of a spot. So Azarati is going to go to 17, but he will be ahead of Bruiser Brody as things stand now based on his singles class. So El Santo, your winner, at 43 minutes and 14 seconds. We didn't need the 60-minute time limit after all. And now we get ready for our main event, and it should be a dandy. The Road Warriors have been overlooked so far in RCW in terms of getting any title recognition. They have no manager, but if they beat the Rock and Roll Express come today, I think Paul Ellering might come calling. So this is a match for the World's Tag Team Championship. The Express have valiantly held the championship several weeks after defeating the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. They were also beneficiaries of the blood rule that we had the first few weeks of RCW that has later been affected. But they came back and they beat Gene and Ole Anderson by pinfall in a later bout. So here we go, folks. This is one fall, 60-minute time limit. The Rock and Roll Express are number 1 among tag teams in RCW, and the Road Warriors number 2. The Road Warriors have not lost a bout. They won 2 bouts and drawn 2. They drew with the Von Erichs, and they drew the Rock and Roll Express early in RCW, held them to a time limit draw. And you see there, the Rock and Roll Express have been very busy defending their World Tag Team title. And they are undefeated with 3 draws. They drew with the 4 Horsemen, the Southern Tag Team Championship. They got held to a double countout. Valentine and Flair took the Express to a 60-minute time limit draw. And as I said, earlier in RCW, the Road Warriors held them to a 30-minute time limit draw. We have 30-minute time limits in the preliminary bouts. Blood rule is not waived. A fight in the prelims can be stopped on cuts, but in title bouts, we just let it all hang out. Road Warriors will go to their power and try to use it to their advantage. Not fan favorites for the most part, although they have had some battles. They had battles with the Von Erichs. They've had 4 different opponents. They won a bout with the High Flyers as our phone goes off. It's Walmart reminding me of a future delivery. Yes, I hear you. Shoo. I will fix you in a minute here. And they just went about with Misawa and Kenta Kobashi. And off we go of our main event for the World's Tag Team Championship. Early pin try by the Express. Our next card, by the way, will be in the West Territory or Circuit. We'll have the same coverage. We'll have coverage of the championship matches. And some early pin tries here by the Road Warriors. And a cut now. A cut to Ricky Morton. I'm sorry, we'll make that cut to Robert Gibson because he's the second man listed. So Gibson is cut. Gibson was also, hold the phone here, folks. We got a Doomsday Device pin attempt, but the Express kick out. Of course, Robert Gibson was also part of another very well-known tag team, the Gibson brothers, with his brother Ricky Gibson. I think Robert was in the Tupelo's concession stand brawl, or one of them. Or was it Ricky Morton? Was it both? I don't remember. Some Memphis wrestling fan will point that out. And now we have that cut on Gibson opening up even more. And the Road Warriors have opened up a huge lead as this bout progresses past 12 minutes. Could this be the Road Warriors' night to win the World Tag Team Championships? We will see. I set both. I set everybody to computer when I do these Wrestling Finest bouts, and I just look at it. Try to look for storylines. And the Rock and Roll Express, the champions, taking a pounding here, way behind the Road Warriors. But in tag team bouts, you could catch up quick, too. Running body block on to Ricky Morton, but that does not get it done. But the Road Warriors just keep pounding the rock here, so to speak. Double team attempt, and the Rock and Roll Express could be on their way to losing the titles. They would drop to number 5 in the rankings if they lose by a clean pin, because you would lose 4 points. And the Express would go to the Road Warriors would go to number 1. Needed a face by the Rock and Roll Express, but they really got to get on their bicycle here. In an earlier bout in RCW, Bigelow and Big Van Vader, who were the rest and are still the Western Tag Team Champions, had them in a bad way, but the Road Warriors got out of that. To an attempt by the Rock and Roll Express and Animal and Hawk. You could probably bench press these two. And you kind of think now that it's just a matter of time before we see the World Tag Team Championship change hands. Rolling reverse cradle. And this is what the champions do best. They get pin attempts out of nowhere. As we go through this bout. Double drop kick out of nowhere. Oh, but it is Animal who finds the ropes. Another near fall there for the champions. Double team attempt, and now they're on a roll here as we go past the half-hour mark. Rolling reverse cradle. Not a viable pin attempt, but it's keeping the Road Warriors off balance. Hit and run, stick and move. Double drop kick, but that was countered. Illegal punches by the Road Warriors. Not really endearing themselves to the fans here in the Southern Circuit. DQ possible, arm holds used instead by the champions. You got to wonder if the champs will get themselves disqualified, rightly or wrongly. And the Road Warriors will keeping the pressure on here as we head now past 36 minutes. Another near pin attempt here by the Express. And now the Road Warriors getting a little gassed. So this is going to be a a fight to the finish, as now the Rock and Roll Express have now narrowed the gap down to 275 points. But you got a bad cut on Robert Gibson. As we've now gone past 40 minutes. Our stats department telling us that the Express have 13 pit attempts to the Road Warriors 6. But the Challenger's getting more mileage out of these pit attempts. This should be a 5-star bout, I would think, as both teams giving their all. And a testament to the unexpected endurance of the Road Warriors that they have not blown up. Another pin attempt here by the Champs. No, that was their 14th. Another double team here by the Express. They're sticking and moving. Can they make it to the time limit and retain their championships via the draw? Which will probably set up a rematch next week in the Western Circuit. Would it be the Western Circuit? Okay. It will be, yeah, it would be in the West. Double drop kick. No. Does not pin the Road Warriors there. Both teams running on fumes. 10 minutes left to go. And the Road Warriors now have pit attempts piled up to them. The Express now up to 16. Punches by the Road Warriors. This is just an all-out brawl at this point. Who wants it more? Knee to the side of the Road Warriors. I think that was Hawk that took that one. Both teams just running on fumes at this point. Double team by the Road Warriors. This has got to be a 5-star bout, I would think, regardless of how it ends. Flying drop kick. And that ends the night for the Road Warriors. Talk about quite a bout. Flying drop kick, we'll say that Morton landed that on Hawk. Yes, a 5-star bout, folks. You have just seen a 5-star bout. The Express retained by pinfall. And that's going to drop the Road Warriors down to 6. As Morton landed the coup de grace onto Hawk. So no titles change hands tonight. No, not a flying drop kick, a flying drop kick. So that's going to be it for our card. I know some of you have been asking me to get back into doing wrestling on the Big Pauly's World of Sports Ends YouTube channel. So I was happy to oblige you all. I want to thank Dave Gardner for mentioning me after the NC2A 75-76 video that I did. Vintage Sports is working on coding a new wrestling game, and he's gotten me interested in doing coding. So I'm going to look into that tomorrow. So to recap our bouts, the Southern Tag titles stay with Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. They defend against Jay Youngblood, Ricky Steamboat, 2109. Pin attempt there. El Santo kept the Southern title by turning back the challenge of Bert Azarati, 43-13. And you just saw quite an event for the World's Tag Team Championship as the Rock and Roll Express knock out the Road Warriors, who you know are going to be back. They win in 56-02 with Ricky Morton landing a dropkick on the Road Warrior Hawk. Our next stop, the Time Travel League of Baseball. We're going to do another game from there, game of the week, as everybody will be playing their 8th game in the TTLB. And until then, folks, Godspeed and God bless. We will do it all again soon. Bye-bye for now, everybody.